February, I thought I would do a January wrap-up and a February TBR. So let's get started. The first book I read this month, I did my new favorites of all time, and that's These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I did do a review over this, so I gave a synopsis, which I'm not going to do now, but I gave it 5 out of 5. I loved it so much. It was just so good. It was everything I love in a book. It's one of those books that I'm scared to recommend to people because I don't want them to read it and not like it. I'm just kind of protective, like I really like it and I don't want to hear if you don't like it and it'll make me sad. So yeah. Book number 2 is a book that many people have already read that took me so long to get, and that's Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I loved this book. I'm not going to do a review over it because the only things I really could say was that I loved it. But I gave it a 5 out of 5. I love happy endings, so this ending compared to Eleanor and Park was just like, yes. So that's book number 2. Next up is a book that I plan to be marathoning the end of the trilogy in February, so you probably know what this is. But that's Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi. I did like this one, but I had a few problems with it. I felt like it was kind of a filler. Not that it was a bad book, but it was kind of leading up to everything. It didn't feel like much got conflict resolved in this one. I feel like it was just setting it up for the bigger conflicts, the bigger pictures in Unravel Me. Next is also a book on my forever top favorites now, and that's Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Alina Starkov is this girl who was an orphan due to this war going on in her country of Ravka, and her best friend Mal grew up in like the same place together because they were both orphans, and then they become soldiers. And they live in like classes of people. There are these people known as the Grisha, which have basically magical powers, but they consider them science. So they're like a class above everyone else. And the wars are being over this thing, the Unsea, also known as the Fold. And so whenever Alina and Mal and their convoy, their army regiment, go to cross the Fold, they get attacked by these creatures, and Alina goes to protect Mal and unwittingly uncovers the fact that she does have a power and she is a Grisha. So she gets taken away to train with the Grisha and meets the Darkling, who is basically the second in power to the king and queen, but he's not their child. At first I thought he was like a prince, like he was the son of the king and queen, but he's not. He's really powerful and lots of crazy things happen, but this book was so good. I love this world and I love Alina Starkov, and I just loved it. I gave it a 5 out of 5. Next up is also another book I plan to be marathoning the end of a trilogy soon, and that's Under the Never Sky by Veronica Rossi. I read this one. I gave it a 4 out of 5 just because I thought it was kind of strange. I didn't really connect to the characters, but I did like the idea. I did like the characters, but I didn't feel really attached to them. Like, if one of them had died in this book, I probably wouldn't have really cared all that much. I mean, so there's that. I did a review over this, but I had to take it down because of technical difficulties, so I'll probably re-upload it. Next are 2 books in a series, the third of which comes out this month, and that's Cinder and Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, book 1 and 2 of the Lunar Chronicles. I gave Cinder 4 out of 5. I did a review over Cinder and a synopsis. I gave it 4 because I had problems with the setting and the characters I felt like I didn't really know, and etc. But I just finished Scarlet and it was loads better. They still didn't really explain the setting, but I loved the characters so much in this book. Scarlet is one of my new favorite badass female characters. She's just so awesome, and I just fell in love with her in this book. And I really liked Scarlet and Wolf together. I really liked the addition of Captain Thorn. I just really enjoyed this book. I liked it a lot better than Cinder. So that's really exciting. Now for my TBR, Unravel Me by Taha Ramafi, Through the Evernight by Veronica Rossi, Unite Me by Taha Ramafi, and Siege and Storm. So I plan to be reading all of those books this month, along with the conclusions to Under the Never Sky and Shatter Me, which are Ignite Me and Into the Still Blue. So I plan to read those. And then I also plan to read Cress by Marissa Meyer, which I'm really excited for because Scarlet stepped up its game. So I can't wait to see what kind of levels Cress is at. That's a lot to tackle this month, so that's probably all I have planned for now. That's it for today. If you guys read any of those books this month, or if you've read any of them in the past, let me know in the comments. Tell me what you thought of them, and I'll see you all next time.